Morning, y'all. Wanted to tell everybody thank you for the prayers, for everything. We've had an interesting week. Between all the drama and getting sick, your prayers have helped a lot. We appreciate it. Having said that, this teaching might be a little bit short. My Dayquil fueled study time was a bit odd. So anyway, so last week we talked about women in ministry and why exactly that was wrong. Well, today we're going to talk about men not doing their job. I mean, why is it that women have even stepped up and thought that it would be okay? It's because men haven't been doing their job, because men haven't stood up and said, hey, enough. There has been a serious lack of masculinity in the Christian world. And I've talked about this before, but I decided it needed recapped. So this is a call to men of my generation to wake up and step up to the plate. It's if you're unhappy with things that have been going on, do something about it. We do need to be aware of who's committing all the atrocities of the world. Pardon me. Sorry. Anyway, but at the end of the day, we're not fighting the New World Order. We're not fighting the Illuminati, the Masons, or anybody else. We're going straight to the top or the bottom. We're just, depending on how you look at it, we're fighting Satan. I am so sorry. So, just as Paul states in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, he says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." That's who we're fighting against. We're fighting against Satan and all of his demons. So, how do we do battle against them? We do this by taking up the role that God has called us to. God has called us to be the protectors, the providers, and the teachers. So the first step that we need to take is by putting on the full armor of God. And we can find this in the same Ephesians chapter 6, 13 through 17. Paul says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand the evil day. And having done all to stand, stand therefore, having your loins girt about with the truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all taking the shield of faith, where you shall be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God." So after we do all of that, because that doesn't just that's a conscious decision. God doesn't just give you the full armor of, I mean, he gives it to you, but he doesn't put it on for you after your salvation. You have to make the conscious decision to put it on. And you make that conscious decision by studying the word, by living your life on the straight and narrow. You have to put it on. The second thing to do is to remember that most of the time during our daily battles with Satan, we're not going up against him. We're going up against ideas that he has put into people's heads, that he has spread throughout the whole world. We are dealing with normal, everyday, average people. So giving them a simple, well, just pray. Just pray and it'll all be better. I'm not saying that prayer won't make it better, but what if this person doesn't know how to pray? Teach them. Don't just give them one verse and say, well, look here at Ephesians, put on the whole armor of God. Well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. Teach them. Quit giving people oversimplified answers. I see this time and time again in different chats. It's not helpful. Teach. Be apt to teach. That is one of the callings of men. Explain it to them. You need to take up the mantle of teacher, because who else is going to? Women? I'm sorry, we've been over that. You need to teach your wife so that she can teach other young women and your children. You need to teach other young men so that they will be better prepared when their time comes to teach their wives. Quit being scared of men and their opinions. Quit being lukewarm in your faith. If we look at Revelations chapter 3, verses 15 and 16, Jesus says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that you were cold or hot. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. This should scare the tar out of most people. We need to be on fire for Jesus, and I'm not talking about just hot. We need to be scalding hot. This is how we teach. I'm so sorry. We live our lives wearing the armor of God openly. Being on fire for Christ, we need to show other men how to walk the straight and narrow. We need to be an example to our wives so that they can teach our children. I've got one last verse for you, and it tells exactly how a good godly man should act. It's actually talking about a bishop. That's the word used in the King James Version. But if you look, the original Greek word is episkopos, which literally translates into overseer. It normally denotes one who is given spiritual charge. So I would say that this falls on to every single man, because you are the spiritual overseer of your family. So here it is. It's 1 Timothy chapter 3, start in verse 2. I think it goes through 17. I didn't write the last verse. A bishop, episkopos, must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, not a striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one who ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them that are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. That's about all I got, y'all. Step up to the plate. Take up the calling that God has given to you. Be apt to teach and quit giving oversimplified answers. Teach people. And make sure that your speech is always seasoned with salt and grace. I skipped over that somewhere. There it is. Just as Paul states in Colossians chapter 4, verse 6. So if you're unhappy with the way things are going, do something about it. But it is very important that you teach along the way. I love all y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.